Hey guys, welcome aboard. We got Macho, we got Robert, we got Echo. Blazed is here, thank you, sir. We're going to cover some ground here in just a second as I finish queuing up a couple of things real quick. Hope everybody's having a great day. I don't know if anybody's catching up or keeping up with the E3 things going on right now in the gaming world. But there are some exciting things already been revealed, and in a little while, the Naughty Dog, Neil Druckmann himself, will be out there on stage talking all about Last of Us 2, and I cannot wait. They better give us a gum release date. That's the only thing I haven't seen yet. Uh-oh. We may have a little problem here.
Blood money, red candles, devil in a blue dress working in the shadows, cold women, love scandals, smile at the switches and spit at the gallows. Had a feeling it was yesterday. Had a feeling it was so much more.
All right, I'm going to have to shut it down and put it right back up. We're going to go live in just a quick minute, though. Sorry about that, guys. The system kind of locked up while I was doing something, so we'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. Our first stream got cut short because the system locked up a little bit. Put everything back up and running right now. We'll give everybody a chance to join us here. Actually, while we're doing that, let me make another tweak here real quick. Bam. All right, so first off, guys, I cannot thank you enough. I am so humbled right now. Not only did we hit 1,000 subs, we've gone past that, and everything about the way it happened was just so cool. The last 12 hours here for the Nation Network, again, it's just been humbling. I remember when I started this thing 14 years ago. I did the math. I broke out some of the old videos. I was like, damn, it's been a long time ago. For those of you who've been around for the ride from the beginning, you know, the first video that I ever had up on a different channel doing all the same stuff was an invasion angle where the TNA, which at that time had the names of Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Kurt Angle did not go there yet, Sting had gone there yet. You had a lot of those early on TNA guys, and they invaded Monday Night Raw, and quite honestly, it was a goof. I just did it to, work on some editing skills. I had just gotten some computer software. I'd never done actual video editing before, so I wanted to just mess around with it and create some videos that way, and pasted stuff together to make a story, because there was no story mode back then. How much you want to bet? I forgot to put this into... Yep. Wanted to be AI mode, and I forgot. I always do that on this. All right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to just start the whole thing over. How's that? I need it to be AI mode so I can focus on the conversation more and let this be in the background. But yeah, I mean, it was something I only planned to do for one video. And, you know, a lot of people seem to like it. Several people were commenting on it. I was like, all right, I'll do another one. And it just kept on going from there because of you guys. Now, I've had that channel got shut down because I started using just the video clips from TNA, and even then it was just like Jeff Jarrett doing a promo, and then I would put the voice work in over it to tell my story and things like that, and I got the strikes right off the bat, and that was a different day right there. I mean, it's like automatically copyright strike, boom, you're gone. It wasn't like now where you get 3 or they might just monetize you and you don't get any strikes. No, back then it was pretty severe right off, so that channel got shut down. Went to another channel. That lasted a few years, and then they got me for posting some old Kit Parker video. And then this one came along. And I try to be as careful with this as I can, but still I want to remain and produce something that's as close to accurate as I can for the time. And that includes, of course, music. And music is one of those things that there is no copyright protection if you don't have the title. You can't use any amount of it without breaking copyright infringement. Now, the reality is almost everyone, I mean, that I've used so far, they take their money and they're fine with it. Let me see something here real quick. I see you posting up there. Macho. Yeah, Last of Us got me super excited too. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff today. I can see this. All right, so for those of you that have not seen the Gold Rush stream from earlier this morning, I'm not going to give too much away. All I'm going to say is there's a return match right now. It's going to take place where if... this is going to be a spoiler, so if you don't want to know, like, you know, cover your ears for like the next 10 seconds. If Larry Zbyszko wins this match... Not Larry Zbyszko, I take that back. Jerry Lawler wins this match, he'll get a title return match. And if he doesn't, not sure what's going to happen with that. I can't remember. See, I didn't do it again. Oh, wrong button. All right, so this is going to be a non-title match. Okay, so when that went off the air, when we wrapped it up, and it was a pretty good show, I was happy with it. Had a couple of moments where the internet kind of glitched up for a second or two, but it came back pretty quick. Let me just go this way. The majority of my videos that I do now, they're almost all live stream for the most part. And they will average in the first day, first 10 hours, somewhere in the ballpark of maybe 100 to 125 views. If we go back 3 days ago, the last AWA match or card that I held before the Gold Rush, that's been up now since June 9th, do the math, 3 days ago. That's got 199 views. Gold Rush had over 400 views when we went off stream. Hands down, the highest watched, most quickly watched video that I have ever posted on this channel. It's not even a contest. It is currently at 1,121 views. Again, I've got videos that are up there for weeks that are in the 300 marks. I go back to, let's see, Saturday night's main events got 444, and that's from a week ago Saturday, back on June 2nd. So in over a week, that's at the 400 mark. This is at 1,100 already. 1,121. By the same token, my sub count, when we started this season, 2K18, let me fade that out. And we started 2K18 season, I had about 400, I want to say 438 subs at that time. And it's been going up pretty steadily this season. But in the last week, but forget the last week, the last 12 hours has been insane. And my alert button just keeps on going off and off and off. And man, I just cannot say thank you enough, because this has been a community-built channel, no doubt about it. Just got a comment here from Michael D saying that this helps him get motivated for his shows, and I thank you for that. I've had so many cool comments from people who say that the work that I've done has inspired them to do it themselves, and I cannot tell you how much that means to me. That's huge. I really do believe, and that was one of the things I used to think years ago when I kind of got maybe a little burnt out and didn't want to necessarily do it so much. I used to say to myself, I want someone else to do it so I can watch. You know, I don't want to have to be the one who's got to put it together and edit it and all that, because back in the day there wasn't live streaming. There was a whole lot of work back then. Now I just got to play the game, and you know, I still got to do a little bit of work, but it's not as bad as editing. Editing's bitch. So I really wanted to see someone else kind of pick up the mantle and all that, and then to see that so many people have, you know, found inspiration in this where they're doing their own thing, and we've just had a lot of fun with it. I've had a lot of fun with it, and we've kind of put some stuff together lately, and working with other people who sub to this channel, and thereby I sub to their channel, and it's not a sub for sub by any stretch. It's because we're doing similar work, and I appreciate what they do and what they bring to the game, and the fact that it's different than what I'm doing. I think it would be boring if everybody was doing the exact same thing, but they offer a different style and a different flavor, so to speak. And that's one of the things that I've recently kind of reached out and been trying to see if we can't come up with a set schedule where we kind of lead one show into another, so A, we don't step on each other. And it's not that you can't always watch, you know, if two going at the same time, you can watch one stream live, watch one later on. But it's better if everyone's watching it live as much as possible, because then there's live feedback going on. That makes such a big difference. Thank you, Blaze, man. Thank you very, very much. Nasty Russ, man. Same thing to you, buddy. So a lot of you guys I know have been around forever. There's a few names I do want to just make a quick shout-out to. Sports Lounge Studios, Doug. Doug's a guy who does Global Wrestling and Miami Pro. He's a guy that I've reached out to recently, wanting to, you know, see what we can do to collaborate our time schedules and things like that. Maybe working on a program together at some point in time. Does really good work, and I love his style, man. He cracks me up. He's got a natural, he just has fun with it. He really does. I'm trying to replicate a time period. He's out there just kind of having fun, and that's kind of, see, I've taken from him. That's what I'm kind of doing with Rise over on the Twitch channel. That's got the more contemporary wrestler names, the guys that are actually on the main roster that are in the game that I hardly ever touch. So I figured, well, let me come up with something for them, and it wouldn't be hard because the WWE can't book them for shit. And with that, it's a lot more interactive, whereas when I'm broadcasting these cards like the AWA or the show earlier today, I'm not directly interacting as much because I'm trying to, you know, again, in the 70s and 80s, there was no possibility of, you know, tweeting or anything like that. So I'm trying to keep it to that. I feel I try as much as I can, especially if it happens during a stream, to acknowledge subs, because, I mean, that's the reason we're here. That is the reason. So, again, SLS, big shout-out there. Also, Ed with U.S. Pro Wrestling, also has Capital City. You need to check those guys out. They do really, really good work. Of course, my boy Tim with the Humanoid Nation. Thank you so much, buddy. You've been a huge, huge asset. Got Rod Moore, man. I'll tell you, Rod Moore, most dedicated person I could imagine ever having, man. He comments on every damn video I put up there, and I do appreciate it. Also, New Legacy Incorporated, man, I'll tell you what. I've been watching a lot more of his videos lately. He pulls out, I was doing a thing, and I plan on getting back to it eventually, where I was having a session go where I just play like old video games, PS2 kind of stuff, you know? Well, he's doing it too, but he's playing PS2 shit from like Japan, so you can't understand a fucking thing they're saying. You look at the instructions, you don't know what they are. You have to look them up online. It says, oh, okay, that means it's the stereo, and this means it's run-ins or entrances on or off. And because to look at it, you have no damn idea. And then you got to kind of figure the damn game out because there's no way of understanding the instructions. But it was just cool to see it. And he does that kind of stuff. And he does a little bit of everything, though. He does other gaming as well. But again, everybody here is part of the community. You guys are, you just made this happen. I mean, you got word of mouth going, and I know you guys have brought people in to help out and watch this stuff, and then they come and I guess they like it because they seem to stick around, which I appreciate. The Dank Mayonnaise. I think I had that for lunch. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you subscribing. Yeah, Nasty. Me too, man. I'll tell you what. I actually feel bad. I took that video down. Even though it was for a good cause, I feel bad about it. But here's the thing, and it actually brings up a good point. Lest anyone wonder, you know, with 1,000 subs, am I going for monetization? I'm not. I've never been about that because I can't do the product I want if I monetize. That means nothing can be copyrighted. Well, how the hell is that going to work? Because even if I go with the in-game audio, you know, all the WWE music is copyright protected. So it would still get flagged. Thank you, Blazed. I appreciate you, man. So knowing that I can't monetize it, which I wasn't planning to anyway, I've got a couple of links down below in the description boxes, and one of them is for the Children's Miracle Network, which is something that means a lot to me personally. I just really think they do amazing work, and I get a chance once a year to work with them here in Orlando. And we did a fundraiser for them, and I set a pretty modest goal of $100, I think it was, that I wanted to raise for them. And it got to the point where I was actually matching contributions just to make sure we get there, and we still fell a little bit short. And I was a little miffed about that. I was like, dadgummit. At that time, I think we had about 800 subs. And I'm like, if everybody gave me $1, and I don't mean me, I mean, there's a website, you give it to them, it goes to them. I don't see a nickel of it. I said, but if everybody just gave them $1, we're at $1,000 right there. So, yeah, I was a little heated about that. And, again, wish I wouldn't have gone as far as I did with it. But we got $140 going right now. And in the same description box, I also have an area there where if you want to support the channel, you can. There's no obligation, and I rarely even mention it. Because I figure people are going to see it, and, you know, if it's something they want to do, great. I can tell you this, anything that comes through that PayPal account goes back into the channel. I spent about $2,000 creating this studio about 3.5 months ago. And if you look back on the first 2K18 videos from back in October, November of the season and compare them to now, I think you will see a big difference between video and, you know, the things like right now, the text up on the screen and all that kind of stuff, and especially the audio, man. I'm rocking a much nicer microphone now. I've got a soundboard that I can make effects on. It just makes the whole product even better. And again, I want to bring you guys the best possible thing I can. This doesn't look good for Lawler's return match, I'll tell you that right now. Did he just get beat with his own move? Well, the king just got crowned again. Dadgummit. So let me talk about what my overall goal is with the channel, though. It's not monetization. The bigger you get, the louder your voice. And the louder your voice, the more you're heard. I think we can all agree that 2K is the Antichrist to the WWE gaming franchise. For anything they do right, they do 4 things wrong on a good day. But right now, the big channels that are interweaved with 2K are generally in their back pocket. And what I mean by that more specifically is they may get some perks, like they get to play the game early so they can tell the fans about what's cool about it. Or they may get special video that they're allowed to use in their channels before the game's ever been released. Things like that. Well, when you're in that position, guess what you can't do? You can't knock the game, not even after it's released and you bought a copy of it. You've got to be pretty cool with them, you know? Even if there's something you don't like about it, you kind of gloss over it. And there's some big channels out there. One in particular, I'm not going to mention it by name, but chances are you guys are aware of. Cool guy, does great videos, and almost all of his stuff is based on the WWE Video Game Franchise of the Year, whatever the title is. Gonna exit out of there real quick. So anyway, when he starts posting videos of the game after release, you're not going to hear him say, he might make a couple of real small remarks. It'd be real nice if they could do this. Oh, a little disappointed. I thought they might do this, but maybe next year, that kind of thing. I want to get a channel big enough where we can hold them accountable and that they have to listen to us. And I know we're thousands of subs away from that, but 1,000 is a pretty big milestone in that direction. So while I know we're not going to bend their ear right now with 2K19, maybe 20 or 21, that could be a different story. We'll see. But that is really what I most want from this channel, is to be big enough that we can influence what they do with this game and that they have to listen to us. That, hey, guys, we're really not happy with this product, and here's why. And by the way, THQ, who I used to absolutely call the Antichrist, I hated THQ, they did better. Time to play the game. They had better options. You could, guest referees, haven't had that in forever. Mixed tag matches, which I think we're getting back this year. Another one that we look like we're getting back this year probably is going to be Lumberjack match, but it kind of sucks. It's a 4-man lumber. What good is that? Let me go back and set this up real quick. Oops. All right, here we go. Bring a little bit of NWA action into this thing. Thank you, Corey. Yeah, I know you had to get some sleep, man. I appreciate you checking it out, though. So, yeah, at this point in time, that is absolutely my #1 goal, is for us to get big enough that we can start saying, hey, guys, why in the heck can we not get a wrestling game that has what it used to have in it? It's not like nobody's ever, made it to these levels and has ever explored this territory when it comes to create a story mode, which would be so good for my channel. It would be so much easier if I could actually book a certain run-in with these two guys attacking. If you remember back to THQ in their last seasons, if you ever messed with it or not, some people maybe didn't use the feature, but the way it worked, if you're not familiar, is not only could you book the run-in, you booked when it would happen. So when, let's say it was a one-on-one, Flair against Luger, and you want Anderson to jump into the match, when Ric Flair's damage got to the yellow level in his head, and you can set it for the head, the arms, the body, overall, but when that whatever area you decide got yellow and damaged, Arn Anderson's going to come out, and he's going to be on Flair's team. And that was just amazing, man. You could do all that. You had backstage promos with no dialogue, by the way, where you could actually just put in whatever dialogue you wanted, which in my case would be nothing, and I could just talk over it. You could do interviews. They had little clandestine meetings in the back, you know, with people talking smack while somebody would be hiding around a corner. There was just a whole bunch of options. Hell, they even had you eating at a restaurant or something like that. That's something I cannot believe. This is what, the third title for 2K now, right? And we're coming up on their fourth. How in the hell they haven't got that yet, I don't know. I just don't get it. Because the funny thing is, they have all the cutscenes, or at least most of them. They have a lot of cutscenes already here that you can use to make your videos. What the hell good is that? I mean, who's using that just to make videos? Now, I'm using it where I'll set it up and then I'll save it, and then I can edit it into the live video where I can cut to that scene. It's kind of what we did with the UWF show a few weeks ago when Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert made his appearance. That was a scene that I basically put all together and then filmed it, saved the video, and then just uploaded it and then edited it into the stream live. But it'd be a whole lot damn easier if I could just book the damn card that way like I used to be able to do. Yeah, I would love to see it come back again. I don't know that 2K doesn't know. I don't think 2K cares. Look, everyone knows the title is their flagship and makes them their money is FIFA, and right behind that is NBA. And guess what? Those are the two they care about. They don't make anywhere near the same money on the WWE product. Nowhere near it. They might make a third in sales off WWE as they do. And I'll be honest with you, they could make the best wrestling game in history this year, and it still won't outsell FIFA. Won't touch it. And they know it. So in their mindset, we'll just put out a game. It doesn't have to be a great game. It'll be a good game. I just realized, I always forget to set myself not to play the game. But again, I just like to be one of the larger voices in the YouTube world where, at least if there's enough of us together and we're all voicing a level of displeasure in the product, that they would have to listen and take it a little bit more seriously. I'll tell you right now, most of you are probably going to be familiar with it. If not, you should go check him out. Angry Joe is a guy who's got a huge fan base. And he's pretty much all gaming. I don't see him ever playing this game by any stretch, but I mean, he does a lot of different stuff. Right now, he's over at E3 Live. But when Star Wars Battlefront did their beta, Battlefront 2 did their beta, he had the producers of the game on his show live via Skype. And he told them straight up and held them accountable, and that was long before all the shit hit the fan. And he told them, he says, guys, I'm really concerned about this whole thing about loot boxes are the only way to progress in the game. Not fair to us, not fair. You know, the fans were really getting screwed on this deal. And then the guy tried to play it off like, well, it's not really that bad because we just want you to have this feeling of accomplishment. What a bunch of bullshit that was. Yeah, it's an accomplishment if you want to pay for it. And he told them, and no, I mean, he was professional, probably more than I would have been. I've got a habit of just calling bullshit when it's bullshit, and I don't mix words with it. Where he's a little bit more politically savvy than I would be. But he called them out, straight up. And there's not a lot of people that do that, but at the same time, he doesn't need them. I mean, if they wanted to give him an advanced copy or something, I'm sure he'll play it. But he's going to give him a fair review, as opposed to some other streamers that like getting that free copy, and they want to keep getting the free copy. So even if they don't like something, they might just not endorse the crap out of it. But they don't want to burn that bridge because maybe the next title the company puts out is going to be good. I look at it this way. To me, the best gaming studio that exists is Naughty Dog, because I can't think of a single title they ever put out that sucked. And I've played pretty much everything they've put out. If you have The Last of Us and you go to the bonus section, damn, what happened to Tully's leg? In the bonus section is this about an hour and a half long video / documentary. And very early on, maybe the first 20 minutes of this, they're in the Naughty Dog studios and they're talking with Neil Druckmann and a couple of the other big names in the Naughty Dog studio. And I believe it was Druckmann that made the comment, because they all work in such close confines and they're in these little cubicles, but one guy's working on the landscape matting, another guy's working on the combat play, and then they have to like just kind of pop their heads up like gophers, you know, in whack-a-mole, and sometimes pass information back and forth that way, or pop over the other cubicle to see where one guy is and see where you're at. And they have, as he explained it, a very open method of communication. He says sometimes we'll look at something and just say, dude, that sucks. And you have to have a thick skin because we don't have time. You know, you've got to be able to take criticism, even if it comes across that way, and no, it's nothing personal, but we got to do something different. And everybody's open to it, and everybody gets it. It sucks. Nobody wants to be told that what you've been working on for the last month sucks, and it's got to be all changed. But better that than put out a shitty product. And that's kind of my mentality. You know, I look at it this way. Nobody likes to be told they didn't do a good job, no matter what job you have. But I think that's one of the motivators to do a good job. Same time, a lot of people have this feeling like if you mention something about, hey, this guy didn't do this right, or this, why are you throwing him under the bus for? Am I throwing him under the bus, or did he do a bad job? And I'm another believer that, all right, if you're the one that's calling out a bad job, it's really helping you at the end of the day, because you got to figure that guy's looking to get even, and he's going to try and figure out something you didn't do right, and he's going to want to call you out on it, which should make you a little sharper, because you don't want that opportunity to arise. But we got this whole political correct bullshit going on in the world right now, where no one's feelings are allowed to get hurt and everybody wins a fucking trophy. So I just want to see a channel that can hold them accountable and, you know, call shit out that shit and give them credit when credit is due. I mean, there were a couple of things about this game I actually thought were good. I can't think of what they are at the moment, but I'm sure if I dig deep enough, I can find one. It's definitely not the targeting system. I know I don't like that at all. Another thing I'm not real happy about with this game, and the franchise for that matter now, is how, well, look at those, we're jumping around here. Look at those little white spots on the back of Animal right now where the flesh comes through the tights. That never happened before. This is the first year. Going to be very curious to see if they fix it. Anderson just got his ass whooped. Yeah, let me tell you a little something. When it comes to these calls, I'm getting a lot of compliments on these in the last 12 hours, too. Couldn't get there in time. Tully and Arn are both made by Tunglist. That's Tunglist. And if you're on the PlayStation 4 system, then you can find him on the Community Creations. Just put that in there, and you're going to find a whole bunch of really high-quality stuff. Hawk and Animal were not his. I don't remember who did them, to be honest with you. But a lot of my stuff was his. Some of them are mine. You know, the Baron von Reschke, for example, that's mine. Boris Zukov is mine. Colonel De Beers is mine. What's up, Abe? John Wesley in the house. Thank you, guys. I do appreciate it. Seriously. Abdullah Rahman. That's a mouthful, buddy. But hello. Must-see wrestling. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I was stunned when the stream ended, and I went right away because it always shows different. Like right now, it shows... Hold on, man. This is why I like this thing to be on AI mode, and I keep fucking up. I put myself in the match when I didn't want to. All right, let them double team for a minute. Right now, it's showing there's 16 people watching. Make that 18. If I end the stream right now and go straight over to my videos log, it's going to show like 60, 70 people maybe. So I'm guessing it based on what people are watching on. I know some people watch on their PS4. Some people watch it on maybe their iPhone or their Android, maybe a tablet. I don't think it calculates all of those devices. I think some maybe and some not. And even when I look back later on my stats, almost 80% of the registered stats were people with like a PC or a laptop. Today's day and age, I know that's bullshit because 90% of what people watch now is on their iPhone or their Android or their tablet. It amazes me that people will watch a new release movie on a Netflix or something like that on a 4-inch screen. It's like, damn it. There's never a day that that's going to happen for me. It's like they have Thor Ragnarok, which I still haven't seen. I'm going to probably watch it sometime later today. But it's going to be in the living room on the big screen. I am not watching it on some friggin' iPhone. By the way, the Twitter thing is starting to gain some support too, and I really appreciate that as well. I didn't do much with it. I almost thought about getting out of it for a while there because, again, what we do here is old school wrestling, and I know we have an older audience here. Although I still think I'm probably the oldest. If not, I'm right up there. And a lot of people in my generation are not... Oh, damn, Tully. How you doing? At least buy me dinner first, for God's sake. See, like what John's saying right there. Okay, so you got smart TV going and an iPhone for the chat. So he's got two different devices going on this. I don't know what the heck YouTube does with that. Do they register the... Uh-oh. He almost got it. Does it register for them when it's from a smart TV, or is that something that they don't calculate in? All I know is the numbers always come up different. So when that stream went off, and I said, well, let me see. You know, I'm guessing we're going to be somewhere near 50 to 60. And it was 489. I almost shit. I was like, what? I was going to say, you better make the save because he ain't kicking out of that. Oh, bad day's coming, Arn. Animal feeling it now. Get out of the ring. Don't get us disqualified, bitch. Oh, he threatened the referee. See if we can put this away. What's up with that, man? He doesn't have the power slam? Might have to go back and check his moveset. Should have had that nice little capture power slam right there. Timing, timing, timing is everything. He thinks that life is about to get bad to be Arn Anderson right now. No, 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 no. Get the fuck out of there. All right, let's put him away now. Shut up. Small package rolls him up. Will that be enough? 1, 2. Damn it, man. Anderson will not stay down. Son of a bitch. Walks into the big boot right there. This is why I wish I would have just simulated his match. Thank you, Larry, man. I do appreciate it. Uh-oh. Excuse me while I interfere. Oops. Again, the targeting system sucks. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Pin his ass. Oh, I could have gone dirty pin on that one. Shut up. Look at this. Come here, Tully. Holy cow, man. Can't keep him down. Hey, ref, you want to get the son of a bitch out of the ring? Eat it. Eat it. Houston, we have a problem. Dive, 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 dive. Caught him with it. Caught him with it. Shit, that would have been a good finish right there. Uh-oh, I can't make the save. Bitch. Go for the cover. Cole's him. All right, thank you, buddy. Appreciate the sub very much. About the more territories thing. There's only so many days in a week. And only so many hours in a day. Oh, look at that. Nice move right there by Blanchard. But he gets a 1 count. I would like to... The thing I always try to do, even throughout a season, like, for example, bringing Corporal Kersher into the AWA to join the Cobra Corps, I try to make sure I get a representation of a lot of different wrestlers, maybe not in 1 year, but over the course of time here on the network. So Corporal Kersher, for example, was a guy I never brought in, ever. And then I saw a really cool call done of him, and I said, you know what? I can bring that right in and work right in with the Slaughter thing. Bring him in for the feud there to finish it up. And then he'll be gone, you know? So I try to bring people in like I've done with Hot Stuff International. I've had Eddie Gilbert in the past, but I did not have Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer, for example. Damn you, Arn. Rolls him up. Referee is there. We're lapping up on. He gets 2. Bitch. So, yeah, that's the other thing. What I'm waiting to hear, and they may even announce it at E3, possibly, although they're not supposed. See, here's my point exactly. Here's E3. EA had day one and really shit the bed. I mean, they were day one speakers, and their production and what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it right now. Finally. Oh, my God. Their promotional event has been heralded by everybody in the gaming community, especially those that were in live attendance, as the biggest shitburger ever. They had no gameplay for anything. Their news was barely newsworthy. And again, WWE2K is not represented there at all. They do have Kofi there, but he's there to play against Kenny Omega in a non-wrestling title because they're both gamers and they're both wrestlers. So the fact that they're not even going to have a representation for WWE2K18 when they've always had one in the past shows you just how bad they are. This is insane. What the hell? Somebody give me a truck so I can drive over them. He's been split wide open and he's still going. Man, both guys are... Oh, wait a minute, Tully. Now things are really starting to turn in favor of the Horsemen. I keep getting sidetracked with the in-game action right now. Oh my. Yeah, I don't think he ever did that. I don't think he ever did that once. Hey, everybody remember when Brock Lesnar tried doing that moonsault back in WrestleMania, that inverted? that he almost killed himself on. Damn shame, too, because that was going to be pretty impressive for a big guy. Damn it, Tully, you just don't learn. Hey, ref. Hey, ref, you want to get the boy? Gosh damn it. Oh, shit. Whoopsie. Larry, if they take away the glitches, then that's half the game right there. I think Hawk just got a little tired of them not being able to win a match. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. I grew up listening to these guys like I know a lot of you guys did, and I was always cutting little promos, and we would do voices and reenact things, and I was always able to do a pretty good job on a lot of those guys. I don't know why, but
right now, I'm not sure what's going on here, but Tully Blanchard hasn't figured out how to put away the Road Warrior, and the Road Warrior hasn't been able to put away Tully Blanchard. These guys are just going head-to-head, and they are beating each other into oblivion. Hell, the Road Warrior's even beating up his own partner. Raining down on him with a big fist, busted open forehead and all. And now Animal just getting back up to the apron. We'll find out if Hawk managed to teach him a lesson. Look at the blood flowing.
Tully Blanchard doing everything he can to stay alive in this match. There's the tag made. He's right fucking there. How is he not grabbing him? Get the fuck off there, bitch. Like I said, the targeting on this game sucks balls. And there is no nice way to say it. I was tempted to let him have it just to end the fucking match, but I'm not going to lose. You're going to have to earn a win. I was going to say, I'm outside the rope. Don't you dare count that. Listen, I have no ill will towards Y2J. I think Jericho has been a phenomenal presence in professional wrestling for a very long time, and I think the long time part is the one that we got to focus on. I think when you're putting belts on guys that are as old as he is, it doesn't say a lot about your promotion. Everyone who's anyone in the business has agreed on one thing. Whether they agreed on politics, whether they agreed on, who should be over and who shouldn't be over, one thing they all seem to agree on: it's a young man's game. That there is a passing of the torch at a certain point in a career where you got to kind of let it go, let the next level step up and have their day in the sun, and hopefully you've left it better than when you got it. Well, what we've seen in the last 20-plus years is anything but. Now, I was just fucking looking at Tully Blanchard. Why would I turn around and kick Arn Anderson? Look at this shit. All right, I'm looking at Tully. Now, why didn't he do that the first time? God, this game. Fucking pin him already. I was going to say, if he kicked that at that, I was just going to get a steel chair and beat him over the head with it. That's a frustrating game right there. All right, so that's another thing I want to see in 2K19. Let's start making that list while we're at it. I want to be able to set how many times a run-in can occur. Because these tag team matches go way too fucking long just because people keep breaking up pins over and over and over and over again. So I would like it to be where you can set how many times. You can put indefinite if you want. Or you can say none. There's no. It's just a tag team match, and whoever gets the pin or submission wins. Or put like a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. I would put it at 2. No more than 2 run-ins per team, and that's it. Maybe even 1, to be honest with you. It depends. It's just these matches drag out way too fucking long in the tag team division, and that's why a lot of times when I'm doing live cards, I'll play the tag team match because I got to get this thing moving, man. I ain't got an hour to sit here on one match. And the more team you got, the longer the match goes. So if it's a 6-man or, God forbid, an 8-man, man, pack a lunch. I like the tag matches in the game. What I don't like is, again, the number of times people run in and make saves.
I know I'm sexy. I've got the looks.
Hey, Zach, thank you so much for the sub, buddy. I do appreciate it.
I said chill. Up and down that slide. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy.
Man, there's something I'm debating on doing right now, but if I do, it's going to kind of be a big old spoiler for future streams. And it was going to be a big surprise moment. I got to save it. I got to. But I can tell you, though, within the next 10 days, it's going to happen. And it's going to happen on Twitch because it's going to happen in Rise Wrestling. Actually, let's do this. Let's go. Yeah, DC Armory, what the hell? So the question was asked earlier, I know I'm catching up here, about how many promotions I'll see myself doing. Right now I'm doing all the ones I'm doing for this season. That's a done thing. Matter of fact, I'll be tapering them down soon because timeline-wise I want to move things a little further ahead. So things like Championship Wrestling from Florida kind of went belly up. And World Class went belly up. And then those wrestlers went into other promotions, whether it was the NWA, which would become WCW, or what have you. You know, Kerry Von Erich went over to WWF and did his little stint there as a Texas Tornado. We'll do this. I haven't used Ronnie Garvin lately. I got to work him back in. Great American Bash is coming up. I did it again. Gosh, damn it. I keep forgetting to set myself. Because I'm used to using the universe mode where all you got to do is right at the beginning of the match, just say, hey, I'm going to let it play itself out. With this, you got to do that first. You don't select the players first. So I did a little bit of Japanese wrestling this year. You got to understand one thing, though. I don't know much about Japanese wrestling. I like what I've seen, more of the older stuff. Although today's stuff isn't bad either. I don't see much of it, but what I do isn't too bad at all, actually. I just don't know the wrestlers. I guarantee you I can't do their voices. I I always get a kick out of their announcers, though. My God. It's like, it sounds like they're yelling at a small kid to get out of the road. There's a truck coming. It's like, coming tonight! Semi-truck coming down the road at 65. Kids out there getting their toy. Would I work with New Legacy Inc.? I don't know that they have a need for me, but I would definitely entertain a conversation about it. I've kind of looked at a couple of different possibilities of a collab kind of thing to do with different channels. That would... The part I'm struggling on is how it's going to work from a technical standpoint, since we're obviously not all in the same place. And as it is, when I do a stream like this one, there's about a 10-second lag from the time I'm saying what I'm saying and what I'm seeing on screen to the time you guys get it. So if we were trying to do an event at the same time, like the same event, whether it's calling commentary or playing the game, the lag factor is what I'd be curious to know about. I'm guessing that if we were to get into a chat room together and share play with a console, then we should be good. And that's kind of the thing I've been thinking about trying out. Just haven't got there yet. Drake Dunn, hello. I'll be honest with you, true story. Never heard Kenny Omega speak. I've not heard him do an interview. I would have to listen to see what the reason I can do some of these guys so quickly and readily is because I did them so many times over and over again, because I listened to them so much. You know, I can close my eyes and envision Dusty Rhodes saying something, you know, and it's real easy for me to do that. And it's ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you something right now, the American Dream, baby. We're looking at going after that World Heavyweight Championship. And I know you, Ric Flair, you got that title and you got your 4 horsemen, baby. But that's only going to go so far, because I am the American Dream and I got the people behind me, brother. I go to work for a living. I don't ride in no limousines and Learjets. I'm on my motorcycle, baby, going up A1A. And I tell you right now, the 4 horsemen may be planning a party for Saturday night, but they're going to be doing it with 20 pounds less of gold. So I can just jump into a character like that because I've done them so many times, you know? Thank you. Well, that'll make it a lot easier. Thank you, Drake, man. I appreciate it. Like I said, last night's stream was something special, man. That goes down in the annals of the nation history books. I lost count of how many subs came in during that 2-hour stretch. And we did really well with that. And then just the view count. It was historic. I mean, again, I know where my overall product ranges compared to other channels out there that are much larger. You know, 400 views for them in a day is not a big deal. They get that in the first hour. But to date, you know, the videos that I put out average about anywhere from 150 to 250 votes or views in about a 24-hour time period. And then as time goes by, they taper down a little bit on that video. So my first 24 to 48 hours is really the majority what a video is going to get. And when I saw that thing at the time at 400, and right now, let's see. I announced what it was at when we started this stream, which I think was like... Hold on, I thought a minute. Was 11:21. Now I'm going to refresh. And that's for the AWA Gold Rush video. Let's see if it's gone up any. No, it's still at the same right now. Another thing, it's got 82 likes. I mean, there's nothing even close to that. Even stuff that's been out much longer and has had more time to simmer. Saturday night's main event, over a week old, almost 2 weeks old. It's got 444 views and 22 likes by comparison. And as I go further back down scrolling here, there's nothing. You know, everything else is below that. 12s, 17s, 19s. So the fact that this thing has got 82 freaking likes and it's not even 24 hours old, I mean, I don't know what to say. Again, I am so happy about that, and I thank you guys for making it happen. I know a lot of different people helped turn people onto this channel and bring them in. And I'm just going to have Dusty stand outside the ring here so I can focus more on the... Ooh, okay, we'll do that. Another good thing about doing a collaboration piece is that you could have two guys playing, and you can literally make it a wrestling match where, you know, we book spots, and it's like, okay, we're going to set up the ladder, then I need you to throw me off and try and make some really impressive moments. See if I can get this to work. Nope. How dare you? See if this works. I think he's there. He's there. Go up, Dusty. No, go. Up. All the way up, you fat bastard. Are you telling me Dusty won't go to the top rope after all that work? Well, shit. Leave it to me to pick the fat ass. I don't think I'm going to be able to knock him off of it, though. Not that far down. Oops, wrong. Oh, shit. He took out Wahoo. I don't know why it's showing him do it. That's the other thing, too. It's like with the steel cage matches and even now with this, there's too long a time for recovery early in the match. It's one thing if this match has gone on a little bit. Oh, shit. He's going to win. That's it. Salam alaikum, my brother. Thanks again, Larry, man. I do appreciate it. Well, again, I do see people doing stuff that's similar, and that's what I like. I like the idea that we're doing stuff that's not identical, but it's similar. I mean, obviously, it's a wrestling game. Everyone's going to be wrestling, you know? There's no Tetris in this. You know, there's no shooter in this. So basically, everyone doing a WWE2K channel is going to be doing something with wrestling. But when I see people that are doing, whether it's the current roster or they're, thing that really impresses me a lot is when they go with original creations, because that is something that I've kind of wanted to get into a little bit. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I just think I'll do better sticking with what I'm doing here. Monster Factory, what's up? Holla, holla, holla. All right, I think we'll throw one more out there. Maybe I can even remember not to book myself into it. Royal Rumble. We'll go 20-man. So they're supposed to be having a 40-man Rumble this year. That's the scoop. They're going to add 40-man Rumble to the match. Mixed Tag Team is supposedly coming back, even though it's not official. There's a lot of speculation that it is, and it makes sense because they have that program they're running now with the Mixed Tag Teams. They had Braun and Alexa together and a couple other mixed match teams. And why did you take it out to begin with? I'm sorry. It just confuses me. Again, this is my problem with these freaking people at 2K. This was all shit that we already had. You're supposed to take it and go higher. And what they have done, essentially, here's the deal. Their first year with the franchise was their best year because they ended up having to inherit THQ's work. And THQ had more to offer. And then the next year, now we're getting 2K's product, and it sucked. It was 12 steps back. And then last year was another 10 steps back, and I'm afraid to see this year's. Mert, what do you mean, where am I from? That's a very open-ended question. Yes, the Rumble in any arena. Same with the cage there, whatchamacallit. Chamber should be in any arena. If somebody else was talking about what it would look like if it were Rockstar Games, as a matter of fact, there's videos on YouTube where guys did little mock-ups, and they're funny as hell. But the truth is, that would be a nightmare. It would be a clusterfuck. Oh, that's okay. All right, let's see. Last one. Let's go. Well, since it's got to be the Royal Rumble match arena, we'll go with current. Yeah, here I am again, booking myself, right? Thank you, finally. Match options. All right, hold on one second here, guys. What'll happen is I'll pull up, and then you guys are going to see my whole roster, which has some new names in it that are going to be making a splash here in the near future, and I don't want you to see them yet. Change participants, that's what we're looking for. Yeah, we'll leave him in there. Leave. Oh, hell, that's good enough. Wait a minute, what just happened? Four left.
Come get on the train. Living ain't easy.
All right, we'll see if that works or not. I'm not sure. Looked like it was acting a little bit squirrely to me, but all the way from Turkey. Dadgummit, look at that. We've got some Canadians. We got some from Turkey. Had some Germany the other day. Had some Saudi Arabia. I was looking at my stats, and it's like Saudi Arabia. It's like, well, dadgummit. Thank you, Monstar. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like I've been saying, man, you guys have helped that happen so much. It has been a great season, no doubt about it. What I've done in three or four seasons on this channel to get to like 400, and then we've more than doubled that in the last 8 months. That's like freaking insane. $1,042. See, I just chuckle right now. It's like my goal was back when we were like 800-ish, and that was only like a week and a half ago, is, all right, based on the progression and how many I've added a month, I says I wouldn't mind if we get near that 950 mark in October when the new game drops, because that first week we're going to be doing what we did last year and what we'll be doing every year forward, which is building the season. And that means doing the cause that I'm going to create and the arenas I'm going to create, importing the logos, all that stuff. I used to do that all off camera so people wouldn't know the roster, wouldn't know what to expect. Ryan, thank you, buddy. Appreciate the sub, buddy. And, yeah, I would do all that off screen. So there'd be a week of time where I almost didn't do any videos because I was so busy building the season up. And I was like, I don't want to go a week down this last year. So I said, you know what? Screw it. Pull the curtain back. Let them see what we're doing. And they'll just know the roster for the most part. What I started doing is there was a few names that I would save towards the end of the week when everything was pretty much done. And then I would just make maybe 2 or 3 created wrestlers that I didn't stream it. And then nobody knew I had them and was going to bring them in and left a little bit of a surprise that way. But it was so much fun, though, because I was going like 8-10 hour streams on that. Because that first week is a whole lot of building. And we just had open chats going like we do now. And we were talking about old-time wrestling matches. And depending what part of the world and people are from, they've got different memories, you know. I grew up in the northeastern area, so it was all old-school WWF at the time, back when Bob Backlund was the champion, Pedro Morales and Morocco were fighting out for the Intercontinental title and stuff like that. Then in the 80s, I moved to Florida, and wow, I was never so blown away as like that southern style of wrestling. Man, it just got right into me immediately. So this is how long it's been since I watched today's product at all. I had no idea Cesaro was doing that James Bond entrance, and that is cool as shit. I love that entrance. I'm telling you, man, I know a lot of people give hate to Baron Corbin. From day one, I've been a fan. I don't know what he's like in the locker room, if he's an asshole or not. Hopefully he's not. Look, style, and finisher. In my opinion, he gets the title at some point in time. Has to. If you're going to put it on Diesel, you damn sure better put it on Baron Corbin. Canada Federation, huh? When it comes to wrestling, man, I can't argue with that, LB. When I look at today, it's like, if I were a 14-year-old kid today, would I be a wrestling fan? And I don't think so. Especially when you think of all the options out there. I mean, the gaming community is huge. Absolutely off the mark. And I've fallen into it, man. I'm like, besides this, I mean, I got all kinds of stuff I'm into gaming on. My nephew and I actually share a gaming channel. He does most of that stuff. I'm not into the shooters and all that stuff. But the games like Last of Us that have a story mode to them, I'll do that. And I'm all about the zombies, so anything that's got, like, you know, Dying Light or Walking Dead, I do all those. If y'all ever want to check that stuff out, it's all-night gaming. The easiest way to find that on YouTube is to do a search for, believe it or not, Disney Infinity under construction. And that's actually me. I like Disney Infinity. It's a very creative game. And that's the whole thing about this that I like, is the fact that you can, if you have a creative mind and you like to write things and come up with story angles, and this game gives you a chance to do everything. You can build the arenas and the rings and the logos, and you can create your own wrestlers to either look like actual wrestlers in the past or guys that maybe you just know yourself or whatever you want to do. And same thing with Disney Infinity. It gave you this unbelievable ability to create worlds and build your own video games. And I love the hell out of that. So all that Disney Infinity stuff, that's mine. Damn, James Bond just got split wide open. All right, so we got Big Cass. That's what I was waiting to see right there. Against Big Baron. I like Aleister Black a lot, man. Man, this guy's... When I first saw him and all the tats and everything, I was like, I don't know about that look, man. My first full match watching him was going up against... oh, gosh, I hate that I forget his name. The dude from Purple Rain, the Purple Rain lookalike guy over there in NXT, when they had their match in TakeOver, where it's like, what's my name? Say my name. You know, stealing the line from Muhammad Ali. And I just thought that was like match of the year right there. I was so impressed with both guys. I thought both guys were off the hook good. And then they'll get to the main roster and they'll suck because the WWE won't let them be good. And that's kind of what Rise is all about over there on the Twitch network now, or Twitch channel. It just frustrates me when I see the amount of talent that gets wasted. Or misused. Turbo, you're 10 and you watch old school wrestling? What are you watching? I got to hear this. Well, I'll tell you what, if you start watching wrestling back in the Monday Night War area, that's not the worst thing ever, because that was probably the hottest time for the industry. I won't say it was the greatest all-time wrestling, but it was up there. I still say the 80s were the best time for wrestling matches. You had Valentine going against Tito Santana, the best feud of all time in my book. Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes. Ric Flair and anybody, didn't matter, but Dusty Rhodes in particular. Flair and Magnum had some good matches. Flair and Nikita had some good matches. Valentine Dream. Man, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to having him in 2K19. And I really, really enjoy him when I do catch him. I am a Sony guy, Turbo. Always have been, always will be. I am brand loyal. So right now, that's another one of the things that I did when I dropped $2,000 on this studio. Is I already had a PS4, but I bought a PS4 Pro because it is a little bit better quality and it does give me a larger hard drive. I'm always going to be with Sony. They have too many great exclusive titles. And I just think it's a better system. I think it's better so far as user-friendly, more reliable. I've never, ever, ever, ever had a problem with a Sony. I still have my original PlayStation 2 and 3. And they're still going. Glorious! Yeah, I saw Ricochet was over there in NXT, and I do need to catch up on my NXT. I'm probably 5 or 6 weeks behind. But that kind of goes back to what I was saying about the streams. It's like, as much as I'd like to do 7 or 8 different territories, that doesn't leave me a whole lot of time to do a damn other thing. Now, once they announce that, and I think this is probably the biggest thing I'm waiting for, because I know they're not going to do creative story mode. That's not coming back. They don't want to do it. So the only thing that I am anxiously waiting to hear that I expect them to do something with is how many cost slots we're getting. There's 2 things I would like to hear from them this year. A, that we're getting 200 slots. And B, that if you put an alternate attire down for an in-game character, it doesn't take a slot. Those are both realistic expectations that could easily be met. I have no delusions that any of the other mistakes won't still be there. They will. It'll still teleport guys. It'll still have everybody shake hands no matter what they're booked as. They're still going to have those weird little glitches where arms and legs bend in weird positions for a few seconds and then come back to normal, where people are half in and half out of the ropes and the ropes are going through their bodies. You know, all that crap will still be there, but can you give me an extra 100 cost slots? All will be forgiven. LB, man, I'm really happy to hear that. Really happy to hear that, because even I mean, now with the WWE Network and they're posting all this old Mid-South stuff, I didn't, have access to that. I never got to see any of that. I saw the NWA on TBS. So I've gone back, to the beginning of the stuff that they posted up there, and I'm watching it each episode at a time, pretty much like people did back in the day. Inverted atomic knee drop on the big man. I'm going to say Braun Strowman wins. See, now what I wonder is, back in the 80s, I had to watch my niece a whole lot. Actually, she's my cousin, but she's more like my niece. And she was like 2. And I wasn't the world's greatest babysitter at that time. I didn't know little kids for shit. And I'm like, all right, how can I keep this kid settled down and not getting into trouble and whatever, and try putting cartoons on, and that would be hit and miss. And then one time I put one of my VHS tapes in. For those of you that are 10, that's what we used to watch video on. And it was Hulk Hogan's Greatest Hits, and it's him and the Iron Sheik and whatever else. And she plopped her ass down in front of that TV as if she was hypnotized. And she watched these guys, and it was like the best babysitting tool I could have ever imagined. So she's getting to be 5 years old and a little older, and we're watching it now. She knows a little bit more, and I teach her some real basic moves where, we'd wrestle in the living room, and she'd Irish whip me into furniture and stuff like that. Or I'd Irish whip her, and then she'd bounce off and run into a clothesline, and she'd take a little bump on the carpet, nothing significant, but just enough where we could be like we were wrestling. But I wonder if nowadays, if you sat a 10, 12-year-old kid down and showed him Hulk Hogan's greatest hits from the 80s with even some of the promo spots and all that, and it's like, would he watch it or would he be like, what the hell is this shit? I mean, it may really just be that it was the right person for the right time, whereas I think Austin's gimmick could still work today if he weren't, 50 years old and broken. I think he could easily come back today and pull off the same gimmick and still get way the hell over. Yeah, I've got to say, I'm liking Mid-South now that I'm finally getting around to watching it. And again, a lot of the names there I'd seen before, but never in Mid-South. And then there's some names I had only heard about. Brett Wayne Sawyer, for example. I had heard the name, I never saw a match of his. No, I've never gotten emotionally attached to a call. If I was that attached to it, I wouldn't be getting rid of it. And realistically, if I'm getting rid of something, it's usually mine more than somebody else's. And there's a lot of times where I'll make one of something that I like, and I think it's pretty good. And then, maybe 2 months later, damn it, he just posted something and it looks a whole lot better. I want to have the best possible, creations there are that I can get access to, because I want my shows to look as realistic as they can. So if that means it's something that I made, then great. And if it's something somebody else made, I'm going to be stupid to just, sit back pridefully and say, well, I'm going to stick with mine, even though it's not as good. I held on to my Jimmy Snuka for quite a while because I did think it was the best one out there. And then Tongueless came up with his, and I'm like, gotta go. When we get down to the early part of October, and we're counting literally weeks down to 2K19's release, that's when I'm basically going to just go with the absolute best work that I have found anywhere, and I'll start bringing in names that I might not even use, but I'll have it saved to my hard drive in the event that, a year from now or 2 years from now, I might want to go back to this game for some reason, because the servers will shut down about a year after the new title comes out. And after that, you're not getting anything. The Phenomenal One hits the ring. AJ Styles trying to throw him over, and he does! The Demon goes down. Yeah, one of the things I'm starting to work on now already, and I'm usually really good with stuff like Photoshop and Publisher and different video editing equipment, all that kind of stuff. That's usually something that I'm either already proficient with it now, or I can learn it pretty quickly. And while I'm pretty good with Publisher, I come up with all my little thumbnails, stuff like that, doing these face scans has proven to be a bit of a challenge. And I've been watching some videos, and I'm still not quite getting the results that I'm hoping to get, but I'm going to keep messing with it more and more, and I've got a few months to work on it. Because the face texture realistically will make or break it. And that's one thing about Tongueless. My God, he's got spot on face texture. I mean, 99% of the stuff he puts out there is better than what 2K gives out and releases. I saw an AJ Styles from, back in the early days of TNA. And gosh damn it looked amazing. But that's really the whole trick to it. You have to make sure you're getting something that has good resolution and lighting. Lighting is so important. So if it doesn't come with good lighting on its own, then you've got to have the ability to not only tweak it, but to know how to. And that's the part I'm kind of learning now, because I've always done with Photoshop is based on the actual image, whether it's editing around it, carving backgrounds out, things like that. Layering is my new thing to learn. And that's how I guess a lot of these guys get these quality, because the photo itself generally is not going to get it done. You have to tweak the hell out of that, and then you get the opacity levels down and let the background fade in a little bit more to take out some of those high spots. Two things you don't want in your face picture that you're going to use. You don't want extreme darks and you don't want extreme brights. Now, it's very hard to find those kind of pictures because most every picture is done with a regular camera with a flash bulb that you're going to find online. So that's where the photo editing comes in, and that's where you have to just, keep working it. And that's what I've been doing. That's what I'm looking forward to doing. It's a good challenge for me, and hoping that, in another month, all these face scans that I've got from this year, and a lot of them I used and then I ended up getting rid of because I didn't like the way they looked, but I still have them. So hopefully I'll be able to use them and be a little happier with them. Dolph Ziggler hanging on to that bottom rope. Now, we talk about WWE booking for shit. Dolph Ziggler, somebody explain to me how this guy hasn't had a meaningful world title run. They don't have better talent than him anywhere. They might have a couple that are as good, AJ Styles being one, but no one is better than him. His athleticism, his moveset, his mic work. I mean, gosh damn it, how important is mic work? And yet they won't give him a run. I don't worry about the moveset so much because I can do that, and it takes a little bit of time, but I'll do the moveset. I don't have a problem with that part. Well, you know what? Vince maybe does hate him. I don't know that he does, but it seems odd. I mean, for somebody he hates, he just gave him a hell of a pay raise. I love it. Super kicks him out. And then there were two. Now, let's be honest. Would this not have been a better Royal Rumble outcome than the one we got? Either of these two guys headlining WrestleMania for the world title. Because they're the younger guys. We're tired of Goldberg and even Lesnar at this point in time is getting a little long in the tooth. Cena's definitely done. Uh-oh. So's Dolph. Sorry, buddy. I thought you had it. Oh, Larry. I saw a rendition of CM Punk, and let me tell you something. I don't even know where I fall on all this, but I'm a CM Punk fan at the end of the day. I think he's a real dude. We got a lot of common interests. He's into the whole gaming comic book world. And I have all the respect in the world for the guy getting in that fucking octagon, knowing, and he had to know, that he's about to get his ass kicked. But he needs to stop, and I'm sure he is. The beating he just took on Saturday night, if that didn't make him realize this ain't for me, then they must have hit him harder than I thought. At the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if he never steps into a wrestling ring again and wrestles anywhere. It is safe to say he will never wrestle for the WWE. It is safe to say that the odds on him ever being inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame that he's rightfully earned will not happen. And quite honestly, I think if they were going to offer it to him, he would turn it down. Wouldn't surprise me if he would, because he's a real dude. And it's like, Hall of Fame, what the fuck is that? In Vince's head? Where's there a Hall of Fame? Show it to me. I got enough money, I'll buy my own ring. So, yeah, I mean, I just hope it's over. I mean, it's over for UFC. Dana made that clear. But there's other promotions that would be happy to have him at his own demise. So, with any luck, AJ still has enough pull to tell him, hon, you know how I supported you and all that? Yeah, that's done now. But again, mad props. It takes a special kind of person, A, to just dedicate yourself to that training and that life for a year, over a year. It's actually been, 2 or 3 years he's had 2 fights. He's 39 years old. You don't learn ultimate fighting when you're 37 years old. You don't do that. These are people who were learning this kind of combat when they were 12, 13, and working on it and improving it in their 18, 22-year-old brackets, and then taking it professional. You will never learn what they've learned in that time period in 2 or 3 years, and you're physically not capable of doing what they can do because you're 39 and they're 26. Oh, there's a lot of places that'll take him, Larry. New Japan, ROH, and I think he'd go ROH if he was going to do anything. It's ROH because it's close to home. And at this point in his life, why does he need to travel? And thank you, Cody Rhodes. I just found out I can stay right here and draw 10,000 people. I don't need to go anywhere. Sleeping in your own bed, man, it goes a long way. But he doesn't need to go back to wrestling. That's the whole thing. He doesn't need it. I tell you what I'd love to see. I mean, you need a little bit of honing in and all that, but I'd like to see him do commentary somewhere. Again, won't be the WWE. I don't think you will ever see him at any WWE event ever. Not a Hall of Fame, not a WrestleMania, nothing. They could make an honorary CM Punk Memorial Night or honorary night or whatever the hell you want to call it. He won't show up. Yeah, and he won the lawsuit, which I didn't realize. I thought there was money in it for him. It wasn't. He was the one being sued. I almost would have thought that there'd be a countersuit, just because if you're found not guilty, then it's true that you misdiagnosed me and you caused me pain and suffering, and bitch, you're going to pay for it. The only thing about him that I can say troubles me, or from a fan standpoint, is, and what do I know? I'm not there, but a lot of different guys have said the same thing, and that is that once he got out of the WWE, and again, he left mostly on his own terms. Was it the greatest? Maybe not, but he's the one that said, F you, I'm out of here, my contract's done, bye. And after that, he stopped talking to a lot of the guys that he was friends with. It's like, wait a minute. Just because we're still working for that company, I mean, why aren't we still friends? We rode the bus together, or we did this together. And I've heard from like 3 or 4 different wrestling personalities, whether they're wrestlers, referees, bookers, whatever the case may be. Nobody fired him. And all right, you didn't like the way they were doing stuff, and you had your issues with them booking The Rock, and I had that same issue. You got a guy who's not even on the roster, and then he comes in and does the main event at WrestleMania. What about everyone who's busting their ass? So I totally get it. I just don't get why you would stop talking to your peeps that were with you who had nothing to do with it. And again, if it was only one guy saying it, I wouldn't say shit, but I've heard it from at least 3 or 4 different people all saying the same thing, that he kind of dicked out on him. That's disappointing. Corey Graves, of course. Yeah, oh, there you go. Yeah, Corey's been digging into him pretty deep. I like Corey. I was really sad when his career ended way too friggin' early. And I'm super glad that they found stuff for him to do, and he's doing a really great job, I think, on the mic. He's got a good look. Oh, Triple H has never liked CM Punk. It's just the same thing with Zack Ryder. You know, when people were really pushing for Ryder back in the day, give him a push, give him a run, and he one time somebody on one of the he did a panel like at a Comic-Con, and somebody stepped up to the mic and said, "When are you going to give Zack Ryder a push, man? The fans want it." And he literally just laughed right there. He's like, "Zack Ryder? Zack Ryder's not getting a push." Really? You want me to put Zack Ryder over? Okay. And I just thought it was a hell of a slap in the face, number one. I'm not saying Zack Ryder should be wearing the World Championship. No, I don't think so. But there's no denying the fact that he was over. I don't know how Woo got over. And by the way, Roman, take notes, because if he got over, what's your problem? So anyway, all right, well, listen, guys, I just wanted to pop on here real quick, do a couple of matches and bullshit with you guys, because it's a lot easier for me to just have some chat time with you guys when I'm not doing a full-on stream with matches and all that kind of stuff going on. And again, I cannot say thank you enough. Eclipsing the 1,000 sub mark, and I just want this thing to keep on snowball until we get big enough where the 2K and the WWE people are going to listen to the community that buys their product. You know, I've yet to talk to anyone during any stream I've ever done in the last 8 months, 9 months. Hell, we can go back the last 2 years. Never talked to anyone who said, "No, man, you're full of shit. This is a great game. There's nothing wrong with this game." Oh, a couple little things, but man, this game's awesome. Nobody said that yet. And again, we're buying it every year, and I play it. I mean, I've got a channel. I kind of have to. And I can make it work. That's not the way it's supposed to be, though. The game is supposed to work. I'm supposed to play it. With this thing, part of the playing it is finding a way to make it not suck. That's an interesting game. That's an interesting model to come up with. We're going to make a game that sucks, and they got to find a way to make it not suck. It's kind of like Rubik's Cube all over again. All right, John, you have a great day as well, my friend. Yeah, I got to start watching some New Japan. I need to start watching. I know they got a TV program somewhere. I just got to locate where it's at. Thank you, LB. Thank you, thank you. All right. As the old saying goes, I ain't got to go home, but I got to get up out of here. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you ringside. I think we're going to be up about that 1 o'clock hour this morning, or tomorrow morning technically, with some NWA wrestling action. So stop by and check it out. We'll see if we can keep this run going here. Thank you one and all, and I'll see you ringside.